What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a super exciting Liverpool transfer news video, because it looks like every day we are getting closer to the Alexander Isak welcome to Liverpool announcement, because it is also a telling sign that Alexander Isak didn't even attend the photo shoot and video shoot of Newcastle revealing their new away kit. And not only that, so he was not in any videos, any photos of Newcastle posting their new away kit. Newcastle also took down Alexander Isak from their promotion materials in and around the stadium and in and around the club shops. So Alexander Isak has been stripped away as if he is already not a Newcastle United player. And also Alexander Isak is basically on a strike, not picking up the phone to Newcastle officials. And he also privately told fellow Newcastle players that he wants to leave Newcastle, and apparently there is a civil war inside the Newcastle dressing room where some players are siding with Alexander Isak, some players are siding with the club, and some players don't want anything to do with Alexander Isak. They don't want him around Newcastle anymore because they think he will poison the dressing room. So it's a very interesting, fascinating situation going on at Newcastle, and I'm really excited about this. What do you think about Isak going on strike, not attending training, not even picking up the phone to Newcastle officials? And clearly he's doing absolutely everything in his power to force his move through to Liverpool. And these signs point to the fact that once Newcastle get his replacements in, then they will be entertaining offers and inviting offers from Liverpool Football Club. Ben Jacobs, who is a very reliable journalist, reported this on Alexander Isak. Newcastle are braced for a Liverpool bid for Alexander Isak. Liverpool are intent on signing him, but it's of course step by step. I don't think Luis Diaz is getting sold to Bayern solely unlocks an approach in a matter of minutes or hours or days, because first Newcastle need to find a replacement and then maybe they will change their not for sale stance. I think privately behind the scenes Newcastle already want to sell Alexander Isak, but they don't want to keep a player around who is so unhappy and who refuses to train and who refuses to play for Newcastle. That would really hurt their whole season going forward. And by the way, if you are excited about this news, make sure to leave a like on this video. Let's get this video to 500 likes with your help, and also subscribe if you're new around here so you never miss the latest updates around Liverpool Football Club and the latest transfer news. Every day I'm posting them on my channel. And if it gets to the point of a bid, and it will get to the point of a bid I think later this week, that won't be out of grandstanding or for show. Liverpool want to bid with confidence, which means that Newcastle have to inform them publicly or privately that they are entertaining bids for Alexander Isak. I think that will happen when Newcastle sign Alexander Isak's replacement, which is Benjamin Šeško, is the most likely candidate. We will talk about that a little bit later as well. So Isak to Liverpool is expected to develop. Even when Liverpool signed Ekitike, the door was still always open for Alexander Isak. That's what Ben Jacobs is reporting. It's getting almost fear from Newcastle sources. He's saying that the Newcastle sources are fearful that Newcastle are about to lose Alexander Isak. The Liverpool sources are cautiously optimistic there, I say. I think rather than going immediately and blindly, from Liverpool's perspective, they of course will look for that encouragement from Newcastle. And they also, Eddie Howe and Richard Hughes are good friends, and Liverpool want to maintain a good relationship with Newcastle. So we will be respectful to Newcastle. We will respect them trying to get Alexander Isak's replacements into the building first, and then after that Liverpool will go and bid for Alexander Isak. So Ben Jacobs is saying that if and when the Liverpool bid arrives, it will be because Newcastle have gone from a not for sale stance to reluctant sellers. As long as the transfer window is open, Isak doesn't want to sign a new deal at Newcastle, and if that number is £300,000 per week, Liverpool can easily afford that. Sky Sports did a financial analysis of Liverpool's PSR finances, and Liverpool can afford to spend 400 to 500 million without breaching PSR rules, which is absolutely fantastic. We already spent like 275 million out of that, but so we can more than afford Alex and Isak. And I think if we sign Isak and the centre back, then our window is done, and that window would be an absolute 10 out of 10 perfect transfer window. Alex Crook, another journalist, also reported that Alexander Isak has been conspicuous by his absence from Newcastle's training ground since dropping the bombshell that he wants to leave the club and he wants to explore a new transfer. Doubts over Isak's future first emerged when he was spotted training alone. Before, of course, he was left out of Newcastle's pre-season tour. Isak has not been spotted by film crews outside Newcastle's training complex since then. So Newcastle haven't been attending any Newcastle training. He isn't even talking to the Newcastle club officials anymore. It is thought that Isak is following his own training program. He has hired absolute elite trainers at home. He's training, and Newcastle decide whether to sell him. Louis Steele also reports that Newcastle are ready for the first bid to come for us, and Isak, they are fearing that first bid. But of course, that depends on Newcastle. It's too early to say that Alexander Isak will be 100% a Liverpool player. But Louis Steele said, I do have a sneaky feeling that this one will end up happening, or at least a bid will happen. Only info I have is Liverpool are preparing a bid. I don't have any information into whether Newcastle will entertain that bid. I don't think anyone does at this stage. But Isak is desperate for a move to Liverpool, and I think Newcastle will end up with a very unhappy player if they reject all bids that will come in from Liverpool. Can you imagine? There is still a month left of the transfer window. So Liverpool will keep bidding until the price gets ridiculous. I think the maximum that Liverpool will go for is 150 million. But even maybe at 140 million total package with add-ons and bonuses, I think Newcastle will do a deal with that offer, and then Alexander Isak 100% will become a Liverpool player if Newcastle accept one of Liverpool's bids. But if Newcastle keep rejecting, they risk losing Alexander Isak mentally completely, because then Alexander Isak will completely check out of the Newcastle project, and he will be absolutely furious and very angry with the Newcastle management. So let's wait and see how this plays out. But the major breaking news is that Newcastle are in advanced talks with Benjamin Šeško and his representatives on personal terms, and they are also negotiating with Leipzig, and Leipzig are ready to do a deal for around 63 million pounds. And what is actually funny is that Liverpool fans are actually hoping for this deal to go through even more than Newcastle fans do, maybe, because Liverpool fans know that if Newcastle can't get Benjamin Šeško, then Liverpool's chances of getting Alexander Isak decreases massively. Another top Leipzig journalist said that Benjamin Šeško prefers a move to Man United, but Newcastle will have alternatives if that deal doesn't happen. The big question is, will Man United bid for Benjamin Šeško, and will Šeško choose Man United over Newcastle? I think so, and that could complicate things a lot. Liverpool have an understanding with Alexander Isak's agent Vlado Lemic on Alexander Isak's wage demands, but we haven't agreed personal terms with Alexander Isak yet, because we are not that far down the line. There is maybe some understanding between Liverpool and Newcastle what it would require for Liverpool to get Alexander Isak, but the deal is far from being done. And a Liverpool bid is only likely to happen if Newcastle sign one or two replacements. And Ben Jacobs actually described this on TalkSport just recently, that the pace of the transfer is to be expected. Liverpool will wait until Newcastle give them the encouragement, because Newcastle are still struggling to get Wissa and Šeško in. Actually, Wissa is doing the same at Brentford what Isak is doing at Newcastle. He handed in a transfer request. He wants to leave. He doesn't want to train with Brentford anymore. He doesn't want to attend any, club meetings, anything. Wissa wants to sign for Newcastle. Maybe Newcastle don't want to pay Brentford's asking price, but this helps the Newcastle that Wissa is demanding a transfer to Newcastle. But the Benjamin Šeško deal, I think, is more complicated. Newcastle are ready to pay whatever Benjamin Šeško wants. That's what Fabrizio Romano reports. And whatever Leipzig want. There is an ongoing battle with Man United, though, because Man United also want Benjamin Šeško. And the problem is that Man United, apart from signing Cunha, they haven't signed an out-and-out striker, really. Cunha is more of a winger and a playmaker, so this is going to complicate things. If Man United go hard for Benjamin Šeško, I can understand why Šeško would choose Man United instead of Newcastle, even though Newcastle are an up-and-coming club. Man United still have massive amounts of money, and it's a huge brand, huge club with a huge stadium and a huge fan base. And Man United maybe have more potential to go big and win trophies. And even in the last 5 years, when Man United have been steadily declining and struggling, they are still winning trophies. Apart from last season, they always win either the Europa League or the FA Cup, so they always pick up trophies here and there. Newcastle have won one trophy in the last, 17, 18, 19 years. And the last domestic trophy before the League Cup that Newcastle won was 80 years ago. So I can understand why Benjamin Šeško would choose Man United over Newcastle. The big question is how far advanced Newcastle are with the negotiations with Benjamin Šeško. Craig Hope, who is a very reliable Newcastle United-based journalist, said that Newcastle had an absolute nightmare summer. And the Saudis, whether people like it or not, they get stuff done. So it's fair to ask, where are they when it comes to Newcastle United? Where is that influence? Because so far there is no permanent sporting director, no permanent CEO at Newcastle, and that's why they are struggling with this transfer window. It has been an absolute disastrous transfer window so far. And Craig Hope says that the Saudis need to change the optics of the current situation, because the Newcastle supporters are getting more and more worried of where Newcastle are going, because they finished the season so well. They won the League Cup, they finished in the top 5, they qualified for the Champions League, and the Newcastle fans were very optimistic about the summer. But apart from Elanga, they failed at every other transfer deal. And right now Newcastle are in talks with Ramsdale, the former Southampton and Arsenal goalkeeper, and Bournemouth goalkeeper. So they want to get Ramsdale in as maybe on a season on loan. That would be a good backup goalkeeper option, I think. And Craig Hope, who actually has his fingers on the pulse at Newcastle, he said that the Newcastle owners, the Saudis, are neglecting the club by how Newcastle are behaving this summer, and by how they couldn't install a permanent sporting director and a permanent CEO. That helps Liverpool, of course, because I think one of the reasons why Isak asked to leave was because he saw that Newcastle didn't show enough ambition in the transfer window. Newcastle didn't sign anyone else apart from Elanga, and that's not enough. If you want to get to the next level, you always need to strengthen. Liverpool are showing incredible, crazy, insane, mega ambition in this transfer window. And FSG are developing the multi-club network as well, because it looks like the Athletic confirmed that even though the Getafe owner, Ángel Torres, denied that FSG is in talks to acquire Getafe Football Club in Spain, FSG are getting closer to purchasing this second club, which could be for around 100 or 150 million pounds. Michael Edwards said when he got back into FSG is that one of the biggest factors in my decision is the commitment to acquire and oversee an additional football club by FSG. And Getafe also started this data analysis method, using this method in 2018, and their injuries actually reduced by 70% last season because of using these methods, and that actually aligns with Liverpool using very heavily data analytics, and we have a very extensive data research team, a football research team, where they analyzed a lot of potential new transfers. A lot of players are getting scouted, and they are getting looked at very meticulously from a data analysis perspective. So Getafe being a club similar to Liverpool in that using data analysis heavily, actually aligns with FSG's vision and how FSG like to operate. James Pearce also revealed that over the past 10 years, commercial revenue at Liverpool have almost tripled. So we are making almost 3 times as much commercial revenue as we used to make 10 years ago. The last set of accounts for the 23-24 season was significant. For the first time, commercial income was more than half of the total revenue. Commercial income was 308 million and total revenue was 614 million pounds by Liverpool. It was also the first time in the Premier League era that Liverpool had surpassed arch rivals Man United commercially. And the Premier League era is since 1992. So it's for more than 30 years, Man United was having better commercial revenues than Liverpool, and now we have overtaken Man United, which is absolutely fantastic, and that's a great way to end this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, have a nice day. See you later guys, goodbye.